What up, guys? So, you want to escape capitalism. Recently, I was turned on to a show called The Garden, Commune, or Cult. It's a documentary series on HBO that explores the life of an off grid community called The Garden. They've got 22 acres in the Ozarks, though they had a place in Tennessee as well. But anyway, the series follows members of like a self-proclaimed like free society where participants live under their own rules and embrace like an open door policy. They're calling for people to like help in the building of this new community. These folks are doing the thing, and I gotta give them credit. There are a lot of similarities between our project, and we get a lot of students with similar like mindset of those people in the garden. And I know the views of a lot of our students would resonate with the people that are taking this task on. I think people are desperate for community. They're desperate to reconnect with themselves, and they're definitely desperate to reconnect with nature or rewild. And one thing that really jumped out to me while watching the first few episodes of this show was someone saying they wanted to escape capitalism. I think we all can agree that prices seem unfair and there's weird connections between government money and big business. But I wanted to spend a few minutes today talking about, can we truly escape capitalism? Uh, During these types of discussions, a boomer will say, how can you hate society and have an iPhone? And I've heard the response, participating in a society is different from supporting the views of that society. It's like asking a slave, how can you eat food that your slave master gives you? Uh, and I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Like everything exists on a spectrum, and we have to examine some things like the either side has, right? But I think the biggest thing we need to talk about is like, what is money? I know if you've been here for any length of time, you've heard me say that like money is the exchange for goods or services to others, and there's no exchange in self-reliance, right? You're just taking care of yourself. You're not using any efficiencies of the larger community. You're not drawing on their experience. You have to learn the lessons yourself. So if there's no exchange of value, there's no money, right? So you can't have. You're not going to be rich if you're into self-reliance. It just doesn't work like that. Hence, like our slogan, the only answer is to be as productive as we can wherever we stand. But the power of permaculture and regenerative agriculture is being productive, contributing to society, contributing to people by feeding them, uh, and not opting out in a way that's hurting yourself. So much of just the reclusing yourself into, I don't know if that's a word, like isolating yourself into like the wilderness and doing what is it? Alexander Supertramp, just go off to Alaska. Like you're while you're taking control for yourself, we really need to like pull other people out of the matrix too, right? And that's the only way that we can really like change the world. We can change ourselves, but to see the biggest effect and like help the most people, we have to like contribute back to society and have that give and take. And how can we do that without feeding the system? This is how this is why I commend the people that live in intentional communities. I think that's a big part of that fight, I guess. But one of the things that was striking about the garden is that one man owns the land. How did he get the ownership? Doesn't that create a hierarchy in some ways? And if one man is like, we can't neglect or negate that this man had funds to buy land so that other people could come and like live and create this free society. So it's hard to escape capitalism in that way. And this goes back to like one of the other videos that I did. talking about insurance and like there's things that need to be in place for like the self protection. But this is like the power of co-ops, right? So maybe one man doesn't need to own the land, but like a board of directors or investors can come together and own the land with like a set of rules. But even still, like we aren't escaping capitalism by someone owning the land or buying land. And then they like, how can somebody use tools that are from the big box store while trying to buck the system? And one lady called the cops during an argument. The system of policing is derived from capitalism, right? Police are supposed to like be the referees and protect property. And if you don't have property, then like, do you need police? I don't know. So maybe this is a sign just getting older and becoming a boomer, but like the more we try to rebel, the more we play into the system. And like this is the system of man, right? Is that we move throughout the world, and uh, I'm trying to use to avoid using the word colonize, but that's really what we did. We came onto land, and when the tribe got too big and exceeded the resources or the carrying capacity of the land, some of that tribe split off and went to another piece of land, or went further away where they hunted and then became farmers. So this is just like the system of man. Whether you're trying to escape capitalism or not, you can't escape our connection to the land and doing what people have done for generations. So all of that aside, like bushcraft is the only solution to escape the system. And then bushcraft, for me, bushcraft moves into like homestead permaculture. That's why we've organized our classes that way. But you still have to navigate the ones that are like playing into the system. So we can never like, and we can never. I don't want to say we can never, because it gives up hope for like the grand vision of everyone just like living and being taken care of. But like this goes back to the video we did a couple weeks ago, saying like it takes a village and you can't survive on your own. Like talking about the butterfly effect, right? The butterfly effect. Does a butterfly's wings in Brazil affect the weather patterns in Texas? And to truly leave capitalism, so we have to take care of the shelter for ourselves: fire, food, tools, clothing. We had one guy comment on that last video I did, talking about like he lived for 2 years by himself, and all he did was like hunt his own food, and he had a refrigerator or a freezer. So it's like, well, where'd you get the refrigerator from? Where did you get like the gunpowder from? Like if you're not flint knapping and like bow and arrows or atlatl or spears, the things that we teach in our survival essentials class. And I'm not knocking the importance of this stuff. I'm like, more power to you. But like, if in order for you to like truly do anything, we need the support of others, and we need to be a community sharing. And if we're sharing, then there's some sort of exchange, whether like you do something for me, I do something for you. There's some sort of barter economy there, which is capitalism, right? And we've just created the dollar to be like the intermediate exchange. So we have to do all that by ourselves: shelter, water, fire, food, tools, clothing, technology. It's all got to come from the landscape, or at least like a barter economy. And if we factor out like long enough, everything comes from the earth, right? Even the fossil fuels, even the minerals that are mined like unsustainably or whatever. But yeah, so basically what I'm saying is we can't opt out of the system. So what we need to do is opt into the system in ways that benefit the land, take care of like people. What is it? Earth care, people care, fair share, I think is the permaculture mantra that Bill Mollison has in the designer's manual. And as long as the needs of the group are met before the resources are sent to other places, I think that accomplishes the goal good enough for me. So we have to start small. We have to put out the biggest fires, one post at a time. How do you put up a fence? If you saw our free mastermind the other day, it's just one post at a time. And then eventually the project is done, and then you can put cows in or whatever it is you're going to do. But that's the way that we can participate in society, bring value to people that are otherwise overlooked. And to sum up, I think it's not so much about escaping capitalism and like rejecting society. It's more of like an inner transformation where we become, instead of a taker and a user, we become like a peacekeeper, a giver, and that high vibrational energy of making, leaving it better than we found it, and influencing the people's lives, or the people around us lives to the highest that we can. And uh, just trying to leave it better than we found it. So I know if you made it this far, thanks for watching. But you're serious about surviving whatever the universe throws at you. Go to sustainablehomestead.com. That's where we have our resource library. That's where you can sign up for our homestead mastermind. It's a weekly meeting where we talk about bringing abundance to ourselves, our families, our communities. Or you can sign up for a private in-person class or jump on the schedule of classes that we have all the time and learn survival skills, learn homestead permaculture. How can we provide for the people around us the highest quality food while taking into the consideration of like sustainable earth systems? Drop us a like, subscribe so you never miss a video. But ultimately, preparation today means peace of mind tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future.